When the question about what the best animated film ever made is, movies like Spirited Away, Shrek, Mulan, The Prince of Egypt, and a bunch of others come to mind. But you know what doesn't come to mind? This Richard Williams movie based on the ancient Greek comedy Lysistrata by Aristophanes. I guess because the film was never made to begin with. But before we talk about the film and why I think it would be the best animated film ever made, I want to talk about the man who wanted to create it. Richard Williams was a Canadian-British animator, painter, and voice actor. He is known for being the animation director on the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As well as the director on the unfinished animated film The Thief and the Cobbler, which was in the making for almost 30 years.
I have power over people, though they may appear complex. For me, they fall like playing cards, and I control the depths.
Amongst animators, he is also well known for being the author of the Animator Survival Kit, a masterclass on the art of animation. With a career that spanned more than 60 years, he is widely regarded as one of the best animators to ever live. In 2015, after acquiring a lot of experience in animation, Richard Williams released the animated short film Prologue. The short film was meant to be the first part of a feature film based on the ancient Greek play Lysistrata by Aristophanes. Lysistrata is an account of a woman named Lysistrata's mission to end the Peloponnesian War between the Greek city-states by convincing the women to withhold sex from their husbands and lovers. The film starts by showing two warriors looking at each other and signaling to each other on their next step as they're getting ready to attack. The dynamic way the camera moves just shows how incredible Richard Williams was as a director. We're then shown two other warriors on the other side, also getting ready to advance and attack the other two guys. As the two sides approach each other, they start attacking each other as it is evident that they belong to enemy sides. One man draws his bow and shoots his arrow and strikes one of his enemies. A battle between the four men ensues. One key thing to note about the fight scene here is how natural it feels. The movement of the fighters feels and looks like something that would happen in real life. Both the style of the drawing and the movement of the characters tries to give off as much realism as moving drawings could give you. The sound design is another underrated detail in this short film. As an axe strikes the shield, or when a blade makes contact with a man's flesh, it just sounds really good. To cut the short film short, the whole battle ends with all four men dead. Another thing to note is that the film does not shy away from the display of gore. The whole battle is extremely violent in an unsettling but very realistic way. This was clearly intentional, as one of the themes of the feature film would clearly be the horrors of war. The last few seconds of the film shows the bodies of the four warriors lying on the ground, and the camera moves to a little girl who was watching the whole thing as she runs to her mother for comfort after seeing an extremely violent battle. Richard Williams unfortunately passed away 4 years after the release of the short film, while still producing the feature film, which will probably never get released. I'll end this video off with a short video of Richard Williams discussing the whole project.
The prologue is something I'm just completing now. This is an idea for a big film which I had when I was 15 years old. And I thought, I wonder if I'll ever get good enough to do this. It's something that nobody's done. And something happened to me about 3 years ago. I don't know, with all this teaching, all this experience, is that it's like yogurt. It finally just went, and I'm able to do exactly what I can think of. And people say, what's this film about? And I say, well, I'll tell you the working title. And I say, it's called Will I Live to Finish This? And that I really hope I do, if we can stretch this out, because it's an enormous amount of work. And I'm into territory where people have tried to go before and haven't brought it off. I keep thinking animation is so much work, and you have to learn. That's why I was reluctant after my first film. That you have to learn so much, and I don't know if I really want to do just stuff that looks like cartoons, but they're drawings that walk and talk, and you can put them anywhere, and you can do anything. And it just seemed, oh, but it's going to be such a hard journey of learning how to do all this stuff, because I wanted the whole ball of wax. I mean, a lot of guys, very funny artists or very funny animators, they do one kind of thing, but I wanted the whole whammy, sort of artistically greedy or ambitious, anyway, if you want to call it. And that was my goal. I thought, it doesn't matter what I do, I've got to master this damn thing so I can really do anything I want. And I, fortunately, have achieved it while I'm still reasonably healthy and walking around.